everyone, and welcome to Big Data Download, where we make sense of big data and put it to work for your business and your investments. I'm Courtney Reagan. Well, it's been a wild ride for the markets in the first half of 2013, with earnings season getting underway. What should investors be preparing for in the back half of the year? Today, we chat with one of the street's most notable market watchers. With us now to talk about the outlook for the stock market is Marc Faber, Managing Director of Marc Faber Limited. Marc also authors the widely read monthly investment newsletter, Gloom, Boom, and Doom Report. He's joining us now from the phone in Thailand. Mr. Faber, thank you so much for being with us today.
It's my pleasure, thank you.
What is the one data point you're most interested in? I mean, the one that is crucial to watch in the global markets right now.
Well, I watch a lot of data points, but obviously, for me, the most important economy for the rest of the world is China, not the U.S. And it looks as if Chinese economic growth has decelerated very significantly, and it also looks as if we had a gigantic credit bubble in China. So if the Chinese economy grows instead of a trendline growth for the last 20 years of around 10%, China then only grows at say 4% or 3%, or even not at all, which is a possibility, then obviously it has a huge impact on the demand for industrial commodities and the pricing of industrial commodities, and at the same time it has a huge impact on the income of countries that produce commodities, whether it's Australasia, Brazil, Central Asia, Russia, Africa, the Middle East. And if these countries have less income, then they buy less from China and less from European and American Western Europe, but the American, yeah. So the demand declines, and you have essentially very little earnings growth or an earnings contraction.
So there seem to be a lot of themes there wrapped up in what you just said, but based on what you're seeing right now, China or otherwise, do you think that people should be taking their money out of the stock market right now?
Yes, that's what I think. I think, as you know, the stock market in the U.S., as an example, has risen from 666 on the S&P to now over 1,600, and I don't think there is a lot of upside potential, but I think there is considerable downside risk. Now, having said that, in the period 1994 to 2000, the U.S. stock market outperformed emerging markets by a wide margin. So it could be that all the money in the world flows into U.S. stocks and avoids emerging markets, as is the case at the present time with emerging markets going down, the currencies of emerging market economies going down, the money flowing into the U.S. But I wouldn't bet on it.
Okay. You mentioned commodities a bit ago. What is your take on gold then? I mean, based on what the economic data is showing you, and based on what you think the Fed will do in the near term, will we see even more steep declines in gold?
It is possible that gold goes somewhat lower. But I think having now declined from $1,921 to $1,232, I think that gold is now at a reasonable level, and I keep on buying gold. I have faith that eventually gold prices will be higher.
Okay, so before we let you go, I'd like to get your take on earnings. You mentioned the potential for some companies' earnings to be lower based on what happens in China. What are you expecting from companies in Q2 as a whole?
In general, I think that corporate earnings will disappoint. They may not collapse, but I don't think they'll be as good as expected. And my sense is that they will rather decline from the current level, which is by historical standards extremely elevated. And in particular, companies that have a cyclical nature, say semiconductors, or companies in material results in material cyclical industries, the caterpillar tractors of this world, I think they'll have a tough time to match the expectations of earnings.
A lot of insight for investors to chew on. Thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Faber.
Thank you so much.
For Big Data Download, I'm Courtney Reagan. Have a great day.